Hello there guys and welcome to Daily Updates. There is a matter that I would like us to discuss, which is the Afriforum declaring war on Mr. Julius Malema, the leader of the Economic Freedom Fighters. They're actually saying that they will be taking trips to the UK, the US and most of the European countries in an attempt to have Julius Malema sanctioned. Well, before we really speak about that and listen to the press briefing by the Afriforum, there is a matter I think it is very important and it might be ignored at the moment, but one day the government might be surprised. Yesterday, a group of unemployed young people took to the street in Pretoria, going from company to company, knocking on the doors and asking if they can really take the CVs. This is really showing an image of unemployment in the country. And if we are not careful, if the government is really not addressing the issues of youth unemployment, one day it might just become more than they could handle. But I just want you to look at the pictures and really see what it means for our country. One thing I hope about that video is that the politicians are watching, because when they do corruption, they should really think about the rot in this country and the fact that young people are unemployed. And one day they might be heartful of the things that are going in the country. But let us shift from that. We are going to address it as time goes, because unemployment is a problem that is continuing. Now, Afriforum held a media briefing to speak about Julius Malema. And the main point on that media briefing is that we want sanctions against the leader of the Economic Freedom Fighters. Well, they are calling him a hater against minorities and also a corrupt leader. Those are the reasons that they want the US, the UK and the rest of the European countries to sanction Julius Malema, meaning that he's not going to take trips to those countries, he's not going to buy anything from those places. So the only places that Julius can focus on is Africa and Asia. But without wasting any time, let us listen to some of the clips from that media briefing.
That allows the US to take targeted sanctions against individuals that violates human rights, that are guilty of serious corruption, and those that support terror organizations. And Julius Malema ticks all these three boxes in that regard.
First point, violates human rights, support terror organizations, and corrupt. So by just listening to that, I'm wondering, where are the facts? Where are the sources in relation to Julius supporting terror organizations? Was he really found guilty of all the things that this man is mentioning? No. Since Donald Trump became a president, it seems like Afriforum has made it a point that whenever there is a problem, they're going to run to the US. So I'm basically listening to him saying that they're going to the US to hand over Malema dossier. And my first thought is that, have you not learned anything about going to the US? I mean, you've done that before and Ramaphosa had to follow in and go and defend the country. You are doing it again. Is it some kind of a competition? Is it something that you like, being in the limelight by going to the US and reporting to your principal about the issues of your country, that is South Africa? You know, I get that Afriforum wants to be relevant. I get that they are saying they are protecting the minorities, the Afrikaners, which if you look at it, they are some of the richest in the country. They own land, huge piece of land. And when you compare them to the many Africans, Afrikaners are rich. So they're basically wanting to protect the riches of the Afrikaners, and by doing that, they want to go to the US. But one thing that I'm worried about is that you are targeting leaders like Julius Malema, who, by the way, his songs, his speeches have never divided the country. It is not in support, but these are facts. If he was in any way dividing the country or urging this part of the group to kill or to destroy this other group, it would have started now. The EFF is in parliament, so it is never going to take the measures that are not allowed in terms of the constitution. Now, you have Afriforum, which endangered the people, the economy of the country by going to the US, and in turn, we saw Donald Trump really putting us at the top of the radar in terms of the tariffs. Those tariffs are hitting the big businesses before they hit the poor people, meaning that the Afrikaners who own farms, who own companies, who own land, they're the ones who are first going to be hit before the rest of the people are hit. So they're basically calling the sanctions on themselves by going to the US, masquerading as good people who are trying to bring peace in the country, but in turn, they are destroying the same thing they think they care about. Is really calling for sanctions against Julius Malema going to work. Of course, the UK has already done that by blocking Julius Malema from going to that place at the last hour. He was supposed to go to the airport and they blocked him. That is fine. We don't know what are the measures behind that. But what Afriforum is doing, it is going to backfire. If they don't wake up, it might be too late, and the government needs to do something about it. It's either Afriforum becomes a political party joined with the FF Plus, or they have to ban them as an organization, because each and every day they're becoming a terror to this country. Ramaphosa needs to do something, but we know that he's a leader that is really not famous for taking action. Even Zuma was taking action, even though those actions could be debatable. But then, on the other hand, we have a president that just likes smiling, charming people, and charming has never worked. They need to do something about the Afriforum, or if they don't do that, the country one day might be collapsing because of the same organizations that you think they are not a threat.